And what's the time? We're live! We're live! We're live! Hello everybody! Sorry about that, a little bit of technical difficulties. Hello, welcome to another episode of DBM Cast, episode number 7. I'm Saul, your host. This is, a bit late to cast because someone was late. I'm not going to point names. But, yeah, Pin. Why were you late? Pin, would you like to introduce the matchup today? Because you are our judge. Yep. Specifically, we're going to be using a date with Markiplier, Heist with Markiplier, and In Space with Markiplier. Those are the versions that are going to be used. We won't be considering anything that's kind of outside those areas. Yeah. Yeah, and for the sake of having a debate, we thought it would be best to give Markiplier space. Yeah. Yeah. So, who is Henry Stickmin? Not Stickman, Stickmin. We actually don't know. The first that we see of Henry is him breaking into a bank, which goes about as expected. He fails over and over again until he mysteriously gets put in a bag and put inside of the bank. He gets up and now he's in prison. Womp womp. So Henry Stickmin is a game with multiple different routes to go down. I'm going to be kind of giving the little tidbits very quickly, although all routes will be considered since technically all of them are canon. He can escape through lawyers, he can run away. All of them will eventually lead him to wanting to steal a diamond. After stealing the diamond, which can go multiple different ways, including a giant mecha robot attacking, he will get kidnapped by the government and forced to work for them and fight the Top-Hat clan. Why did we pick this matchup over Henry versus I think that's the Second Coming. Just going to interrupt you for a minute. We chose this matchup because me and Jim particularly really like it, and the Second Coming has a blog. While this one has a blog, it's a bit... yeah, and I don't think Pin does. Myself, I interrupt myself because I just wanted to do that before people start asking. Anyway, so Henry can either join the Top-Hat clan, escape as a bounty hunter, or work for the government. No matter what happens, he ends up in the complex, which is like a big super prison. After fleeing the complex, Henry can go through a multitude of different endings, including being a lone bounty hunter, stealing from the Top-Hat clan, getting betrayed by the Top-Hat clan, and seeking revenge. Henry's story kind of ends in multiple different ways, but it all loops back to the start, where the last scene that we see in Henry Stickmin is the box given to him in prison, which kicks all the events off. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Let me turn the music down, actually. It's a bit loud on my end. Let's keep talking, Jim. I guess you can cover what happens in space and the date. Is so God. You can't hear Germ. You can hear me. Well, that's not really the best, is it? You guys say something? Oh, wait. Oh, God.
Speaking. Discord?
Hold on a minute.
Like the audio in Discord?
It's not really the best, is it? You guys say something? Oh, I can hear myself. This is really quiet and muffled. Okay, try and say something now.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Try again.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Can you hear them now? It should be picking up quite well.
Well,
no, Germ is not muted. I can hear Germ perfectly fine.
Hello.
Okay, sounds good for me.
Fixed.
Okay, Fenix says it's fixed.
Okay, so did anybody hear anything what we just said? Like anything at all?
Did anyone hear what we said?
Probably not.
Oh my God.
Markiplier goes on a heist! That's the gist of it.
Okay, Judge stepping in. Germ, please give like a very, very easy description.
I'm just gonna do a brief thing. So In Space with Markiplier, which is a prequel, has Mark be the captain / the engineer of the Invincible 2, in which case, after coming into contact with the funny rock, he goes on multiversal adventures and gets stuck in a time loop, which eventually gets ended by you being with the power of friendship. In a Heist with Markiplier, Markiplier tries to steal the funny rock again from a place, and then from a vault, and multiverse.
And what about date? What about date with Markiplier?
I haven't.
You go on a date with Mark.
I haven't looked into the story for that one
yet.
Okay,
date with Markiplier here. The player goes on a date with Mark. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay.
You go on a date with Markiplier.
I'm the judge, so let's hear me out. Okay. So, Saul.
Yeah.
What can Henry do in terms of power?
Gosh, okay, it's more like what can't Henry do? Henry has, so because it's a multiple choice adventure.
Really quick. Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Yeah.
By power, by power, do you mean like abilities or do you mean physical power?
Yeah.
Like ability power.
So arsenal and abilities, right?
Yeah. Okay, I needed him to clarify that.
Okay,
yeah. I'll say like stats if I want like actual stats.
Mm. So Henry Stickmin is a character who's been on so many different adventures with so many options. Now, I just kind of going to have to talk about this for one section, but every single fail, so sometimes you will choose an item and it will fail, every single one of those is canonical, and Henry has canonically known information from his prior deaths and resetting things. So Henry is basically immortal. The only way for Henry to essentially die is by the multiverse itself being reset. Just putting that out the way when I start listing everything he has. He has revolvers, rifles, sniper rifles, harpoon guns, grapple guns, tranquilizers. He has portal guns, wormhole guns, which can let him create portals. Shrink guns to shrink people. A force gun similar to that out of Half-Life. Power armor to fight in. A tool gun which allows him to no-clip through things. As long as he doesn't get banned, because apparently the admins really hate him for that one. Cloud Strife Sword, the Duck Hunt Blaster. He has Missing No, which crashes the game when he uses it.
How?
Yeah, I don't know how he got Missing No. I struggled to get it myself. He has swords, shields, metal fists, hot knives, chainsaws, C4s, multi-bucket bombs, the cluster charge from Rainbow Six Siege. If he wants to get close to people, he can teleport, he can fly on clouds, he can reverse the gravity of situations. He has multiple ways to possess people as well. He has the crystal from The Sims, so he can force someone to do whatever action that he likes. He has Cappy from Mario Odyssey, so he can... Oh yeah, it's Zack's Buster Sword. Okay, right. Okay, I don't know my Final Fantasy. And,
Okay, so...
Can I say... One more. He can run up to someone, and if they're an enemy, he just needs to go, woo-loo-loo, and they become his friend. Literally, he runs up to someone...
Like Eustace?
He just goes, woo-loo-loo.
The thing is, the way you're describing it, I'm just imagining Eustace Baggs from Courage the Cowardly Dog running up on someone, pulling out the mask. Woo!
No. He literally goes. Woo-loo.
Okay, so there was a lot there that you just mentioned, Saul.
Really
quick, how does Henry get these powers?
He has hammer.
Does
He has hammer space.
Does
Yes.
he have to die?
No. He has like the Bugs Bunny pull out the item out of nowhere, pull it out his ass.
Okay, so he has the magic bag.
It's called hammer space, which is basically the ability to pull an item out of anywhere.
Okay, so he has availability to all these items.
Yeah. He can use them and abilities whenever he wants.
Can he use them all at once, or are we going to make it like in the games where you can only use like 4 at a time?
To use an item.
I don't think it's fair if we go down the choice route, because then Markiplier would also be tied to a choice. I will talk about the stand stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I feel like it's just kind of Henry has these items. Not that he's going to be able to like use them all in rapid succession. It's kind of how fast and Henry
I think that's fair.
Also, I don't think that when he uses one, he's just immediately going to die. The problem is that he usually just fails using them.
The thing is...
now, Germ. What can Mark do in terms of power?
Okay. What can Mark do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, here, let me pull up my doc. Okay, so first of all, he has immortality. So every time he dies, his consciousness gets sent to another Mark in another timeline in the multiverse. So until the entire multiverse is destroyed, he is basically immortal.
Oh, fuck, okay. Oh my god.
He's capable of summoning just about any object into his hand with no issues, which explains a lot on how he just pulls stuff out. Like, he pulls out a grappling hook out of nowhere, he pulls out a flower out of nowhere.
Has hammer space, like Henry does.
Yeah, he basically also has hammer space.
Oh god, okay. What kind of items can he pull out?
A rifle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he has a rifle. He has a gun. He has a rocket launcher, a pistol, a bomb, a flintlock pistol, a grappling gun, and his most important weapon, probably, the box.
The box.
What's the box?
You opened it.
The box? So you see, in Heist with Markiplier, this is his main objective. Get this box. It's a mystical box of unimaginable power, basically. Basically, it's a temporal anomaly, a cosmic wrench in space-time that causes shifts in time, plotline alterations, and strange coincidences to manifest themselves into reality. It can do things like possess you. Okay, so basically,
No.
it has been shown to be and contain these things: a cursed monkey statue that possesses you if you look in its eyes, the world's oldest picnic basket, which has a tuna sandwich containing the cure for zombification, a skeleton key that can open any lock in the universe, 2 ancient and loud fairies capable of granting any wish, a device capable of turning back time, a map to the islands of golden treasure and treasured gold, alien data containing all the secrets of the universe and all technological advancements you could ever hope for, an orbital laser homing bombardment beacon, a 2,000-year-old salt shaker, a portable temporal displacement device capable of launching the user into several alternate timelines.
Okay. So, is that what Mark has in terms of... Oh, really quick, I actually want to ask this. I know you talked about that, and that's really impressive. Does Mark get his spaceship?
I wouldn't give him... He did make the spaceship, but honestly, I doubt anything about it's going to matter except for the warp core, which, if you want, I can go into.
Is that important?
Yes, it's
for, like,
a
his
very
immortality?
big, important side of
Yeah,
the debate.
the warp core is basically what gives him it.
Okay, so is it required for him to
part.
actually use that ability?
It's not required, but it helps jumpstart his immortality. And also, it does a little funny thing that I want to bring up.
Okay, well, we'll get back to that in a second. So,
Yeah.
Saul,
Yeah.
what does Henry have in terms of strength, speed, and durability?
So, Henry on his own is a bit of an interesting combatant because of all the different endings. His peak physical strength would be during the the revenge ending where basically Henry is dropped off an airship and repaired by a big doctor. Yeah, he has this baseball bat which allows him to... He hits right-hand man's orb, and you literally see it go around the world and come back to Henry. There's, there's other stuff as well, like, he's been able to physically punch a helicopter away. He's reflected bullets in orbit. He has the Y crystal from Pokemon, which is basically like a big Z move attack.
What?
Yeah, he has a Z move attack. Which got to large town level, 164.5 kilotons of TNT, and he has. He has. I'm not done yet. He has enough explosions to blow up the bank that he was in, which got to about mountain level because of how much explosive he has. He recreated a nuke basically. Based on the size. Henry was enhanced by the Doctor, would that not be outside help? No, it wouldn't, because every ending is canon, so like the person would have made the cybernetics for Henry. She doesn't have anything apart from making the weapons. And Henry...
Really quick, Saul, if I can go back to one of the earlier feats you gave out. The feat where Henry knocked I think it was like a blast
it's like an energy orb. Yeah.
Has that been calced at all?
I would have to look into that. I don't know.
Would that be a strength feat or like
strength? Because he has a baseball bat and it's like a giant massive ball.
Okay, so it's a strength.
So it's a strength feat.
I think that could be interesting if if you have any sort of calc for that.
Yeah. But he has multiple ways to end the universe as well. Missing no corrupts and ends the universe. If he divides by 0 on a calculator, it destroys the entire universe. He has something called the Corruptic, which corrupts the universe, as you might imagine. Henry's not really a physical guy. It's a lot about what he has on gear. In terms of speed, he's been able to dodge lasers, dodge gunfire from like miniguns, uses agility. I already mentioned the hammer hitting the bullet. But two of the things. Okay, wait. I might have the calc on the ball of energy because there's a speed that Henry had to hit it back, which is 3.65 the speed of light. Which is how fast I had to hit it.
Yeah.
This is also consistent.
That's pretty good.
This is also consistent because basically they have an Undertale segment in Henry Stickmin, and his soul can move fast enough to be in tandem with lasers.
Oh boy! So
okay, the apparently the ball got to multi-continental. From what people are saying.
Really quick. The universe-ending stuff that Henry has, is he also affected by it?
Yes.
Is he hurt by it?
Yes, but I'm gonna invoke a death battle rule here of potentially if things go wrong, he could use it and cause a Predator-style tie. You know, where
so you're saying it could end in a stalemate if he used one of those.
If he used one of those, but also
if he used what?
If he used the Corruptic, the missing node, just dividing by 0. There's one where he takes away all of reality and leaves them as all stickmen, poorly drawn stickmen.
So in terms of stats, he is faster than light and very strong.
Relativistic. Yeah, relativistic.
Yeah,
so mountain.
And what about his durability? Is that at all impressive?
Scales to his AP. He's able to fight right-hand man who,
Very good stuff in terms of stats. Now, Germ, what does Mark have in terms of strength, speed, and durability?
Okay, I assume I'm going to talk about the warp core after I talk about stats.
I'll get back to it, I promise.
Okay. It can do some things that sort of do the same things as what Henry can do. Basically, in terms of strength, he moved a really heavy sewer cover, dug out an entire underground tunnel in one scoop, physically ripped Darkiplier out of his own personal realm, proceeding to have an interesting fight with him. Darkiplier is capable of taking control over the plotline's narrative, forcing the IRL viewer to play by his rules instead of the ones scripted for the videos. Built a reactor that's the strength of a star and can tear open wormholes, which eventually led to the multiverse's destruction.
Oh, wait.
That doesn't really sound like physical. That sounds like he made a machine.
I'm just going off what I put in stats.
Just tell me what you just said again, just so I understand it.
What's up?
Like he ripped open. What did he do?
Built a reactor, the warp core, that has the strength of a star and can tear open wormholes. It can also destroy the multiverse.
Okay.
Wow. To continue, holds it back against deep space suction force, and can survive in the vacuum of space, like without any protection.
So, are those his stats?
That's his strength. In terms of, do you want me to cover durability and speed?
Mm-hmm. That's what this is for.
Speed. Avoided automatic gunfire, dodged point blank plasma blast, jumped in front of the same blast from a few feet away in less than a second. I wrote these at like way too late.
It's okay. Take your time.
Okay, comparable to you, who can both just straight up dodge, and pull them out of the way of several lasers.
Is any of these speed feats have any calcs with them at all?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
I got a few questions. Let me debate for a minute. For the machine thing.
Wait, can I wait really quick?
Mm-hmm.
Really quick. Can I talk about durability?
Yeah,
just
sure.
before we get into it. Survived a long fall after having aliens do God knows what to him. Withstood a fall into the ocean. Survived being struck by lightning. Withstood the shockwave from an explosion that launched a skeleton into the sky for over a minute. Narrowly survived being in the same room as a scientist's energy gun when it detonated. The energy gun was capable of obliterating the box's temporal anomaly, which seemingly erased every other possible branching timeline of actions from the entire narrative, of which there are 27. Comparable to you, who survives an entire sewer detonating, survived being bombarded by lasers, getting frozen with below negative 200 degrees temperature, and taking the energy of the before-mentioned star-level reactor to the face in all like a span of 5 minutes.
Wait, hold on. He took a star-level power to the face?
So basically, like, it's at the beginning of In Space, where it's a bit where like you throw Markiplier into like cryogen, like into a cryogen room. It's like negative 300 degrees. Then he like opens up the door for you, and then you throw him into the reactor room, and then he comes out perfectly fine, going, "The hot and the cold mixed together, and I came out fine."
Oh my god. Okay, that's kind of insane. What was the question you had for Germ?
It was more. It's been answered now, but like the build and the machine thing, I don't think that would scale to physicals because he built the machine, and also on the laser stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Did the lasers?
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Are they actual lasers, or do they have
I'd have to pull it up real quick to look at them again.
It's okay. To go back to what you wanted to ask earlier, talk more about the warp core, or is that
okay? Talk more about.
Yeah, you wanted to go into it a little bit, so I'll let you do that.
Okay, so the warp core, as aforementioned, can destroy the multiverse by opening up a bunch of space-time wormholes. Sorry, I am trying to think how to word this.
Take your time. You can word it any way you want, and I'll try to figure it out.
Okay, so basically, the wormhole, its power source allows you to go from universe to universe, like, on will, but because Markiplier is the second main character, as aforementioned, he gets the immortality and transfers consciousness. These wormholes cause the universe to crash and be reset, like full on like a game crashing, you gotta reboot it type deal. And it allows him to time travel.
Oh, okay. Didn't he already have like a time thing?
So he can rewind time, but with the warp core, he can straight up go back in time, like total wise.
Oh, okay.
Because to quote him, let me find it real quick. Distance and time are the same thing from different perspectives.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
it also, as aforementioned as well, it also completely messes up space and time. Like, you see Markiplier go through, in his words, an eternity in one room within the span of like 2 seconds.
And when when the multiverse resets, does Mark survive this, or does he die?
Markiplier, everyone survives this, but then the wormhole breaks through the reset and like redoes, like causes everything to get jumbled again.
Okay. Saul,
Yep.
to go back to you,
Okay.
let's get to some of the higher tier stuff where you were talking about universal and multiversal destruction, because that seems important to this debate.
Yeah, I mentioned all the
Does
ways.
Henry have any sort of like? What do you think a good win con for Henry would be against Mark in this fight?
There's a couple of win cons. Henry also has time travel, by the way. So he has a time machine that can just go back in time and just affect the past without issue. There's a couple of win cons that I have.
Okay, so they both have
One.
time machines.
Yeah. One.
Which one's better? Which time machine is
I mean,
better?
it doesn't
Like,
really. It doesn't really matter because killing Henry in the past wouldn't really do anything because it would just be a fail and then he resets.
yeah, okay.
That's
fair.
how his immortality works.
What's the win con, Saul?
Okay, there's a couple of win cons. One of the easy ones is mind hacks. So Henry has multiple ways to mind hacks people. I mentioned Cappy, I mentioned the Sims things. He has the command melody from Zelda, which allows him to mind manipulate people. He can summon in Charles. Charles is the guy in the aeroplane who no, it's a helicopter who usually crashes into Henry. He has two.
It's the greatest plan.
He has two valuable win cons to this. One is straight up mind manipulation, which he just can activate, and two, he can melt all of Markiplier's bones. Just kind of melt them all and render
Okay, for
him
a second,
disabled.
Okay, not gonna lie. For a second, I thought you said balls, and I was confused.
Bye. Okay, right. So Henry has a thing called reference. Reference is the JoJo stand. Reference has the ability to, when it hits someone, it can send them into an alternative timeline where something that is more or less physical never happened. So this is the big win con here, because technically Reference could punch Markiplier into a timeline. So there's only how many choices in Markiplier?
Okay, this is a part of the debate I didn't really want to go into, but this is actually a great segue. Thank you, Saul.
I'm not finished.
You guys talked about how there's some. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. How many timelines are there in A Date with Markiplier? And space and
I only know the number in Heist, in which there are like 37 endings.
right, but
There are way more choices.
there's at least 300 in Henry Stickmin, maybe more off the top of my head. Reference could be able to punch Markiplier into a timeline where he never built the warp core, and basically how Reference has one counter to it where anything that is like spiritual, right hand man manages to counter it because he has a stand. Notice stands of time, which allows him to freeze time. But the warp core is physical, like how it managed to reset the cybernetics that were built onto right hand man. So he could just send Markiplier into a timeline where the warp core never existed.
Well, the thing is, the warp core isn't his only way of one. Like I said before, he can reverse time with the box.
Yeah, but also,
and second off, with the box, he can it's capable of launching the user into alternate timelines, so he can just come back.
but isn't the box a physical object? Is it not able to be hurt by Reference as well? Because the cybernetics, the cybernetics that were on right hand man's body when he was hit with Reference were they were just gone. They were just gone. Completely and utterly gone. So he wouldn't have the box. He would have hit him into a timeline. It's like, say I hit you into a timeline where, I don't know, tragedy strikes and DBM cast would never happen. You would be integrated into that version of yourself, just with all the memories from the previous timeline, you know?
Counter, Markiplier already does that and still keeps his immortality and stuff.
Yes, but you said there's a limited number of timelines that Markiplier can go into the Heist and presumably the other ones. Henry has a lot more based on the button, which basically you have to get every single fail, which is about 800 and 900.
Germ, has Mark ever died in like any sort of ending where the warp core did not exist?
I also...
No, because he built it.
I'm saying, like, did he ever die, like, and it's not there? Like,
No, he's never died, I don't think. Or, like, he dies, but then his consciousness just gets sent to another Mark.
right, but what I'm saying is, has that happened and the warp core is not there? Like, is that...
No, the warp core, once built, is, like, a multiversal constant.
Okay. So, like, if he was sent to a universe without a warp core, he would still would he still be, like, affected by that multiversal immortality thing?
His immortality is not a physical thing. Like, the warp core does not need to exist for his immortality to exist, to my knowledge.
Okay.
I know some things.
Really quick. I wanted to go back to this. Since you guys are talking about it, like multiversal destruction stuff, how big is each of their multiverses? Just so that I can get a grasp of it.
I think we both already mentioned this.
So it's not like an infinite multiverse. Like there's a finite amount of universes.
At least from what we see.
Probably?
Yeah, from what we see in both, yes.
Yeah, I think it would... to be honest, I think there's probably... Yeah, I don't know what to really say.
So
because I didn't really look into that.
At least from what Germ is saying, there are at least... Let's highball it and say there are, like, 60-something endings in each series, right? And you would kind of count those as separate timelines, wouldn't you?
I guess, because different choices can also count as different timelines.
I guess as well, so maybe you would increase that a bit more. Henry has at least over every single fail across 5 or 6 games, and every single ending. And also, it's not like Henry has a limit. There's at least it basically just becomes the point where reality will eventually start to break, you know?
Yeah, that's the same for Mark.
Mm-hmm. Also, I also have a counter for the warp core, because the warp core is just kind of a device, and Henry has multiple ways to destroy it, hack it. Whoa.
And I think you mentioned earlier, Germ, that Mark also had like a hypnotism device.
Yes, he can use what's it called? Let me pull it up.
Has he ever resisted that device before? Or sort of
a Crystal Monkey statue that possesses you if you look into its eyes.
And has he resisted this at all? Anything like that?
I actually believe so.
Oh, really?
You believe so?
Can you pull up a clip of that really quick, or like a screenshot or something?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now just to double check with myself.
Because I mean, what kind of possession does Henry have? Does it take over your mind, your body?
It can be both. He has multiple ways to mind manipulate. He can Cappy. It's like Cappy from Mario, you know. He enters and he can control your body and stuff. Okay.
Now, Germ, not to get on your ass, but is this mind control or is this mind madness manipulation?
There's a difference. Oh wait! We can play, guys. We can play this feat. Markiplier won't strike me down.
Feeling all right?
What?
We can play. Remember when I tried to play Big Mom and it said copyright?
Oh, easy then.
Oh,
I wasn't going in for
Oh wait, you should play Space. Is so cool.
Hey, look at me. Look at me.
That would be
when I
epic.
told you not to look into
I don't know if we get.
Really quick, just to mention as well, I don't know if this counts,
just wondering if
but
you'd like to
in the ending song for In Space with Markiplier, there's a lyric where Mark mentions that he became King Kong in one universe.
Are you hearing noises?
So maybe that applies to AP. I don't know.
No.
So from what I'm hearing right now, they both have multiversal
listen, pal.
types of destruction.
I think you're not quite feeling like you.
Wait, which video?
The Markiplier one.
Maybe you'd like to Give
has
me
an advantage
the
in terms
statue.
of ability.
Okay.
You know, so
Sheer amount of
really quick,
weapon.
What-
in that Mark video, I finished watching it. Mark doesn't resist it. I don't think.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't look into it long enough, or like even
So
at
he
all.
is susceptible. He is very
To
susceptible.
Henry's multiple win cons for mind hacks.
So the thing is, I think he's susceptible, but I don't think it's enough to like kill him. Because if he does die again, he just
Yeah, but also
Well, I don't think it's about killing him. I think it's more like he could just get him out of the fight, and therefore the fight's over.
either that or he can put specific commands into people. If Henry, because Henry has so many fluctuating ways of intelligence, you know.
Should I mention the fact that multiple Markipliers can like exist in the same place?
Maybe.
Question about that. Mark plays as a lot of people in like his series and stuff. Like there's a pirate, Wharf Stash, and things like that. Are they all also considered as Mark, or is it just like,
No, we're just using the main because all of those characters aren't considered Markiplier or Mark. So we're just considering the ones who are Mark.
Okay, I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, so no Darkiplier, no Wharf and Stash, none of that.
Sorry if it blew your brains out. I was typing something and I.
So if they both have multiversal terms of destruction, to me right now, Henry seems like he is at least a way to stalemate or just keep Mark not so much killed but neutralized in terms of the fight.
I also want to say that because
I do have a question.
Oh, yes.
Does Henry have mind resistance? Because he could just as easily reverse the monkey.
That is true, but I would like to say that there are situations I believe where Henry's like mind and stuff, and it's been like fail screen, you know. It would count as a fail, like if Henry, because that's how it works. That's literally how it works in universe. Like if Henry loses out on something, it doesn't go the way he wants him to. If he dies, if he gets mind controlled, if he gets attacked, if he gets knocked out, it could count as a fail.
Okay, wait. So, really quick, I just remembered something. So,
hello.
You know how you said that if you were to launch Markiplier into like a different universe where he didn't have the box or the warp core?
Yeah.
Wouldn't Markiplier just be able to use his hammer space to pull one of those out again?
Maybe, but then also there's...
Jeremy, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's a giant win con for Henry.
Also,
I think I think Mark still has a
win con for Henry?
I just wanted to mention it.
Also, there's the whole thing of, like, Henry could theoretically go back in time, because there is a bit before, like, all the warp core immortality stuff starts happening, like in Date, you know? Where stuff like that happens. And
oh, no, the warp core... The warp core immortality stuff's a time loop.
Yeah, it's a time loop for like space and stuff, but can you prove it for the other ones? Because you could technically go back to a point before the immortality stuff starts happening. Because I think there's a specific thing where, oh yeah, Henry has reset the screen upon being incapacitated. So yeah, even if he did get the mind hacks off. Thing is with Markiplier is that he needs to like die. Henry's immortality is just kind of based on like, this shit goes wrong, you know?
Yeah. So to me, it seems like Mark needs a way to like instantly one-shot Henry.
No, because then Henry would come back.
Like that at all?
But the thing is, if he kills Henry,
like
Henry comes back. You need a way to get past Henry's immortality and mind hacks.
And you're saying the only way is through his multiverse being destroyed.
Kinda, because the GDC at the end of the game, they do like a multiversal like reset thingy. And like
they nuke everything.
They nuke it all. Yeah, and you at home. Yeah, and then they're fine.
And Mark has a way of doing that, from what you're saying, right, Jerem?
Yeah, warp core makes big multiverse go boom.
And is that easy to happen? Is like a button he could press?
So it's a gradual process, but the problem is that the warp core, like I said, space and time are one and the same from different points of view. So time is all over the place. Like eternities, like an eternity can happen in like 3 seconds. So the time that it can take can like vary. Okay, if that makes sense. Like time is just. I have something. Like it is all over the place.
I have something. Have something.
What do you have?
Henry could kind of dependent mess with time through lag switching. He has like CS:GO lag switching.
That what? I don't think that would mess with the linear.
Maybe,
loop
but
time.
also there's other things as well, like him being able to use the leaf. So basically, he has like a leaf thing from Animal Crossing, where if he sticks it on an object, they turn into a leaf. He could technically box the ship and the warp core, and it's just a leaf.
Well, the warp core is separate from the ship.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. The big, you know.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean.
Yeah. It's just something that he can place down, and it's a bit like transmutation, you know. So no more whatever Markiplier is using. Hello, Animal Crossing.
I mean, if Markiplier really needs to, he can just put the crystal on his wrist.
Maybe,
So,
but
sure,
also
that works effectively as well.
But also Henry Stickmin mind control.
So, Germ, from what I'm understanding, is what you're saying is that Henry wouldn't have would probably not even be able to do anything before Mark from the future would know to turn on the warp core to destroy Henry's multiverse. Is that what you're trying to say? Because time is linear like that.
So I'm saying the multiverse destruction, while being a gradual process, from our perspective, could, for everyone else's perspective, could also be completely in 5 seconds, because time's all over the place and time and space are just different points of view.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect Mark's own speed and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying it affects his speed, but it can affect the warp core speed.
Which still, it sounds like Henry is
also, if he really needs to, Markiplier, there's a bunch of different versions of him, old Markiplier, all different points in time, if we're using all of them, because they're all the same dude, just different points of time, they would all be a part of the fight.
I still think that's a little bit...
anything that...
But you could also argue that with Henry's time travel.
So I'm saying, if Mark were to survive, an older version of him could, theoretically, start doing the time travel shtick while Henry's fighting.
Okay. So from a general point of view, it seems like it was basically almost impossible for each other to permanently kill each other effectively, and they can
kinda.
I think so.
Without either killing themselves in the process of doing it. And at that point, it'd be a stalemate.
I think Mark doesn't really have an answer to the mind control and stuff, apart from just I don't know, somehow ending up in a Markiplier that's resistant to that stuff, but that is highly situational.
Whoa,
that's
that's no limits fallacy right there, Jim.
Yeah, I was about to say it's highly situational at best, and at worst,
he could end up in a Mark that just has the anti-Henry gun.
Henry could technically, technically pull an item that perfectly counts as the warp core, you know.
Yeah, see that. So I don't think he has a counter to it, but I don't think it would kill Mark, obviously.
Also, someone did mention quickly, I want to say, two things that people mentioned. Someone said, does Henry have shoot the whoop? He does, but it takes a week to summon. But technically, since time equals distance, he has shoot the whoop. And two, Henry has a load state, so he can save the game and load the game. So he can just kind of save the game. Okay, Markiplier's got to do that. Load. Markiplier, load. And he has trapped himself.
To help Germ a little bit.
Germ
a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of Henry's stuff, while very impressive, does also hurt him in a lot of situations. Now, it could be just situational depending where he is. Maybe it's more effective.
It very much is.
In terms of a fight. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of the devices just can be faulty. The teleporter just does not work.
It did work. It did work.
It worked once.
It worked once. Which shows that the items are situational.
Out of 7 times.
Is it all just for the bit? If it's funny, then it just happens.
It's not really
To be fair, with both characters, if it's funny, it happens. It's a comedy game, and at the core of both franchises, they're comedies with dramatic and storytelling aspects.
Also, Henry has the Fuss Frada from the Dragon Ball. which is an impressive weapon.
How many minutes are we on?
We are at 44, so we can keep going.
Okay, so let's get to...
I got some more stuff to talk about, by the way. More gear. Much more gear that I can talk about that I really want to.
Go ahead.
So, Henry has another way of mind manipulation, people, which is to do his distraction dance, which kind of forces people into dancing, no matter, if they're aligned. And it worked.
For a second, I thought you said destruction dance.
Can you imagine?
And I was...
Oh, that's what I thought he said.
Boom, boom,
boom. No, he said distraction dance.
Yeah. Henry also has control...
Which is the funny meme.
Also, Henry has a thing called the Scrambler, which can hack tech and turn it, absolutely haywire. I don't know if Markiplier has any important tech,
Most of his tech's mostly stuff like grappling hooks, and the warp core is, really, really advanced. Yeah. And he barely knows how the technology works. But he knows how to use it, but he doesn't really know its, main... origin and all that.
And there's other gear that I can mention as well. Henry can control, like I said, people's gravity. He can turn himself invisible. There's the shrinking wincon, which I mentioned earlier. There's he can teleport. He can manipulate metal. What else? There's so much. Oh my goodness. There's genuine... Henry has so much just to talk about. I could be here all day.
Jeremy, you've mentioned only a few things. Okay, go. Mention one.
And one of the things that he can do is he can enter the dimension where the warp core is. The warp core has to have an origin. And I remember doesn't it get destroyed at the end? In one of the endings, so the warp core can get destroyed.
No, it doesn't get destroyed. Mark doesn't make it.
Right, so he doesn't make it, but it can also be destroyed by universal destruction stuff, the missing node, the Divine Zero.
Well, it can't exist if it was never made.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it was made, it would still be able to be destroyed. There's nothing that it doesn't have universal.
Well, we never see it be destroyed.
Okay, so that's
we never see it.
Okay, so that's a no limit.
We never see it take. Yeah, it's probably a no limits fallacy, but also we never see it take any damage. So
yes,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
So yeah, it also Henry can duplicate himself with an orange.
To be fair, if you try to destroy it, yeah, I will say if you try to destroy it, it will hit you with the full force of a star. So
yeah, which there's a couple of ways that maybe Henry can't take it, but also wait. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Henry has the Boo from Mario Kart. Now, my dear friends who've played Mario Kart, do you two know what the Boo does?
What
the Boo.
Sorry, you're British. I can't understand what you're saying.
It makes you intangible for a couple seconds.
And what else does the Boo do? That's right, person. It steals items. It steals? No way. Also, I forgot to mention before, but Henry also has Skyrim pickpocket things, so he can take an item if he gets close.
Can I ask you a quick question, Saul, about all these items?
Yeah.
Are you saying that they all have the same powers and abilities they do have in their own games? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean?
Everything they can do in their games. So the Boo, I remember the Boo power up from the Henry games. All I remember doing is just making Henry intangible for a moment. I don't think he ever was able to steal an item.
No, I might be wrong. No, I might be misremembering. It might not steal the item.
But are you saying
no? I am scaling them to what they do in Henry Stickmin.
Okay, that's what I want to know. I wanted to make sure because I was well, that's very questionable.
That's very questionable. No. I just might be misremembering there, but also just him being able to get close and pickpocket is useful.
I agree. That's very useful.
Okay.
Sure,
the Boo
only mentioned
the Boo can't.
Few amount of
Someone in chat mentioned the Boo.
Sorry, I can't hear anyone. You guys are talking over each other.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
My bad, bro. I'm saying I just got corrected right now that the Boo. Oh no. There's a little debate in chat if the boo can take an item or not. So, Germ, do continue. Sorry, I thought I found the solution.
Germ. Yeah, it's okay. Germ, really quick, I wanted to ask you. You've only mentioned a few items from Mark in terms of gear. All I've heard so far is like bombs, guns, and the box. Does he have any other equipment that's worth mentioning?
To be honest, not that I have written down.
Okay.
He probably has some stuff that got missed, but overall, I don't know.
Now that star durability feat was pretty insane, and I haven't really heard a really amazing similar thing for Henry. Henry definitely takes strength and speed pretty easily.
He takes strength and speed, he doesn't take durability, but this isn't really an argument of Henry can physically overpower Mark. That would never happen, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say, so far, the only win cons I've heard for Henry is just he steals the item, he hypnotizes Mark.
He uses the leaf.
Could you tell me what your end game here for his win con is?
Henry has, well, it's kind of like trial and error. Henry has his retries where if he is incapacitated, if something goes wrong for Henry, there's been multiple different occasions, not even just like situations he would have survived, right? One of them, he enters a room, and guess who's there? Freddy Fazbear. Freddy Fazbear himself. And he doesn't hurt Henry, and it just resets. So, with a bunch of time and error, a lot of resets, which Henry does have, he has so many different win cons, and like we said, he can use the items. He's gonna get a good one.
I'm gonna ask you a question I want both of you to answer really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When they both die
go first, so I can
reset, can they both remember each other's reset? So if a fail happened for Henry and he went back, would Mark also remember that, or would he be brought back?
Sorry, I'm gonna answer first because I'm selfish. So Markiplier, every time he dies, every time that his consciousness gets transferred, every time the universe gets reset, he remembers it all.
So you're saying in a Henry fail and it went back, Mark would also remember what happened?
Most likely. I would say. Also, to counter the failure thing, I would say that as long as Mark also has the box, he can just rewind time as well.
Yeah, but also...
I think that's fair.
But there's also stuff
if Henry...
There's also stuff that Henry can also travel through time dimensions. He can load a state. He can save a state. You know, it's not just time travel. He can do so much other things, you know?
Well, what about for you, Saul? Would Henry remember the...
I would argue they would not remember each other's fails. Because I feel like that is way too much of look at these cosmologies.
An assumption?
It's so much of an assumption. Henry gets his reset because he's an anomaly, you know. Markiplier is an anomaly type thing, you know.
I mean, I'd say it's an anomaly, to be honest, but
not in the same definition as a Henry. I feel like you're kind of just equalizing. I feel like they wouldn't remember.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Saul though. Markiplier with the warp core and all that, definitely he literally if you have the crystal that powers the warp core and stuff, you are literally called an anomaly in the story.
Should I?
I mean, this is a weird debate, but I'm just curious a little bit. What does it say, Saul?
We're at 54 minutes.
Okay, so both of you. So Saul, please
Yes.
make your final arguments.
I have not heard a good way for Markiplier to get past two things: Henry's immortality and Henry's mind hacks. There's a lot of ways that Henry can win this battle, whether he is going back and ending dimensions in a Predator-style win con of suiciding everyone out, or if he's mind-controlling Mark and taking the boxes and the drive for himself. You know, if he's transmutation him, if he's melted his bones, which isn't he just melts bones, it's horrifying, honestly. Mark has no way to get past any of these fails. Henry Stickmin is gonna steal this victory from Mark.
Alrighty.
I'm adding the poll, by the way.
And Germ. Also saw on the poll. Can you also add?
Yeah, Stalemate. Stalemate is there.
And Germ, what is your final argument?
I think that Mark has higher durability. I think that he has that Henry has no real way of killing him without it, like, actively being like a fetch quest of him trying to find the warp core. I don't think that. I think that hypnosis in mind control is a good counter, but also I would argue that past versions of Markiplier could show up and continue the fight if one's mind controlled. And also, in terms of actually killing Henry, I believe he said that the multiverse needs to be destroyed, which Mark can do.
He never. What? No, it doesn't actually kill Henry.
I think.
Reset.
My failure. My final line. I think that Mark's gonna pull off a heist to get this dub.
You know what you should have said?
All right.
That was horrible. I'm so
You know
sorry.
what you should have said? Markiplier should have had the space to steal Henry's heart.
Oh wait,
He does have Riz. That's in his
Romance?
abilities, but I didn't mention it.
I didn't expect that route.
Markiplier had. We could go the route of lovers.
Love wins. That's what you get if you pick Stalemate. Love. Okay, Payne, do you want to call your verdict? I have the poll here.
Okay, so let's start with the poll results first.
Henry has swept with 73% to Markiplier 9% to Stalemate 18%.
So, chat, you have voted for Henry to win.
Oh, I think one last
Now-
person. I think the final. Yes, the 12th viewer voted Markiplier to get 16%. Literally came in clutch, Jim.
So, let me say what I think about all this. So, from what I heard, they're both very, very unkillable, but in very, very different ways. While Mark is also very impressive in terms of his immortality, what he has to do is he has to die in order to go back. I think Saul made a very good point.
Whoa, Jim.
Sorry, I forgot I can't say anything.
Yeah,
Debate's over now. Debate's over now, Jim. Jim, if you get to bring up one last point, I get to bring up one last point.
I'm just saying, it's forgetting stuff.
Is that fair, Jim?
I'm not forgetting anything. And I think Saul brought up a very, very good point where he said that, technically speaking, Henry does not have to die in order for a failure and a reset to start. I think that was a very good point. And I do agree with both of you where I don't think that their fails and deaths would not be able to understand what's happening with each other's resets at all. It does not work the same way as like Frisk or Batter or stuff like that. Also, I think that it's solid that Henry takes strength and speed. Like, there's no debate. And I also think Mark has a very much higher durability than anything Henry can withstand normally, which I think is very, very fair.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly surprised you didn't bring this up, Jerem, but I remember a feat where Mark survived a black hole.
Oh, he died to it.
But like he survived it for a few seconds, which I think is very impressive. I'm surprised.
That would probably still get about country level, so lower than the Starfleet.
Yeah, I will say, if I remember correctly, isn't it like theoretically, if you get close enough to a black hole, like time would like go faster around you?
No, it slows down around you.
Oh my god, that's scientist my brain. I don't want to think about it. Okay,
yeah, Pin, you brought that up.
Black holes are complicated, and he didn't survive it. He died to it and then respawned.
I was thinking like strength-wise, but it's fine.
Sorry.
It's good. It's good. And I think that the suicide stalemate that Saul brought up was not like a super solid point because Henry would also die, and stalemates are not usually what I go for in terms of fights. What I think was very, very good was hypnosis and basically just making Mark not be able to fight anymore. To me, that's Henry's honestly best win con here. Besides destroying the warp core, which I'm not super sure if that would actually stop Mark's immortality. You didn't seem too confident in your answer for that, Germ. So I'm not totally sure. But after this debate, I'm going to give it to definitely give it to Henry. But you did a good job, Germ. Lots of good points there.
I didn't do that, chat. You saw that. Right. Oh, that was a really fun costume. That was really good.
I tried my best.
You tried your best, yes. And you lost! No.
My best isn't enough.
Henry had so much stuff.
Henry has so... That was like... Yeah. We don't want to know the size of my Google Doc. It's fine. Thank you all for tuning in to another day of DBM Cast. I guess
it was very fun judging.
Yeah. We'll be back 2 weeks' time. I guess if we want to promote anything, I'll start. Because I started a new series, Interview with a DB Creator, where I interview everyone's favourite Death Battle creators. Hey, maybe if you want to be on, you can give me a contact. We've recorded the first episode. It's up now. Go watch it.
Can't believe you didn't invite Pin.
Never.
What?
It'd be me and Pin arguing for an hour for an interview.
Q versus Mixopidalink.
Mr. Mixopidalink.
Just got announced. Whatever. That just got announced. If you want to participate, please do. I know the renders are not amazing, but I released some for Q. So hopefully that'll help you guys out.
Anything else, Chub? Do you want to promote anything? Do you have anything coming up?
I don't have anything to promote because I'm boring.
Everybody say you love Germ.
Yeah!
He's awesome.
Show Germ some love. There's a reason why Germ...
Show Germ love.
There's a reason why we keep bringing Germ back.
He's a good loser. I would have cried and thrown
No, it's because I would have been more mean with you, Pin. I would have gone... With Germ, I'm like, good job, Germ.
I guess... Shout out to Pin, who got Jevil and Sugar to kiss.
I did do that.
Okay, thank you guys for watching DBM Cast. It's been another successful episode. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks for another matchup. Who will be debated? Well...
We have no idea.
Well, no,
I don't think we
know.
should definitively...
But
Fluttershy versus Fiddlesticks.
no, we don't know the matchup, but we know who's debating.
After Bendy Cuphead, I don't think we can definitively say that it's going to be in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, true.
Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks.
Promote our blog, Germ. It said, someone said promote our blog in the chat.
Oh, Phoenix blogs, the next one they're going to do is Homelander versus Wesker, the boys versus Resident Evil. It sounds like it's going to be really hype.
What?
I'm also
They told me it was going to happen?
I'm also going to promote 2 different blogs. Look out for Father Bellows. Hopefully that will be coming out eventually. And my good friend Bang, who you might know who made Clayface vs. Sandman, is about to drop another blog. The Knight from Dead by Daylight versus the Apollyon from For Honor. Which, hey, I did research for. So make sure you go and read those both. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Anyone want to say
Hello,
bye?
everybody. My name is Markiplier.